Maybe you've been there too, but I remember a point where it felt like no matter how hard I worked, nothing really changed. Longer days, extra effort, saying yes to more, but the paycheck stayed almost the same. It's frustrating because the default advice we always hear is the same: just work harder, do more, put in more hours. But there's a problem with that. Time is limited. You only get 24 hours in a day. So if income depends on time, your income is capped. And that's where most people get stuck, trading more and more time for only small increases in money. But what about the people who actually increase their income? They're not working more hours, they're playing a different game. That's what this video is about. Just as a heads up, this isn't financial advice. We're looking at this for educational insights to see how others play a different game. Always do your own research. So let's dive into how people actually increase their income without more hours. And it starts with one simple shift. If you want to earn more without working more, you have to stop thinking in hours and start thinking in value. Because no one is really paying you just for your time. They're ultimately paying you for what your time produces. Two people can work the same 8 hours and make vastly different amounts. The difference isn't effort, it's value. The higher the value of the outcome you create, the more you earn without adding extra hours. So the question becomes, how do you actually increase your value? You don't just work harder, you build the right skills. If you want to earn more without working more, you have to stop thinking in hours and start thinking in value. Because no one is really paying you just for your time. They're ultimately paying you for what your time produces. Two people can work the same 8 hours and make vastly different amounts. The difference isn't effort, it's value. The higher the value of the outcome you create, the more you earn without adding extra hours. So the question becomes, how do you actually increase your value? You don't just work harder, you build the right skills. One of the fastest ways to increase your income is simply to ask. Not aggressively, not blindly, but strategically. A 10 to 15% increase doesn't require more hours. Sometimes it just requires a conversation that most people avoid. And that's the key. Most people just don't ask. So they stay underpaid. If you're already delivering value, you may be closer to a higher income than you think. But there's something even more powerful than earning more per hour: it's earning more from the same work. Most people do work once and get paid once, but higher earners think differently. They look at one effort and ask, how can this pay me multiple times? The same work can often get reused, repackaged, or distributed in different ways. Instead of starting from zero every time, they build on what already exists. That's leverage. And once you start thinking like that, you realize something important. You don't need more effort. You need better systems, which we'll get into next. If you find yourself repeating the same task over and over again, that's a signal, because anything repetitive can usually be systematized. And systems don't get tired, they don't slow down, they just keep running. When you replace manual effort with systems, you free up time without reducing output. That's how income can continue even when you're not actively working. And once your time starts opening up, you gain something valuable: the ability to turn your experience and what you already know into income. Most people underestimate what they know. They think, well, I'm not an expert yet, but you don't need to be the best. You just need to be useful. There are people just a few steps behind you who would benefit from what you already learned. When you package knowledge into something structured, it becomes an asset, something that can help others and generate income at the same time. And once you see your knowledge that way, another opportunity becomes clear. You don't need more customers, you may just need better pricing. A lot of people try to earn more by doing more work, more clients, more hours, more stress. But there's another path. You could charge more for the same work or search for other jobs that pay more for the work that you do. If the value is there, the right people will pay for it. And instead of spreading yourself thin across many low paying opportunities, you focus on fewer, higher quality ones. That's how income grows without your schedule getting overloaded. And when you zoom out, all of this connects to one bigger idea. At some point, working harder stops working. Effort alone doesn't scale. Leverage does. Leverage through skills, through systems, and through how you position your value. That's how some people increase income while working the same or even fewer hours. Not because they got lucky, but because they stopped trading time for money and started building smarter ways to earn. So the real question isn't how can I work more to make more? It's where am I still relying on effort when I could be using leverage by upleveling skills, systems, and how I position my value instead? If this gave you a new way to think about money, consider subscribing for more content that breaks down the systems behind building real wealth. Thanks for watching.